Over the years, Hell's Kitchen has become a beacon of hope for young chefs hungry for success.
In 2004, multiple Michelin-starred chef Gordon Ramsay burst out of the UK with a hot new show, Hell's Kitchen, where chefs battle it out in the hope of becoming Ramsay's next protege.
It's like the first show that really was like a cooking competition.
One of my things in life was to work for Gordon Ramsay.
If you got picked for this, it was a very big deal.
Ramsay's relentless perfectionism and infamous short temper are the show's secret sauce that make Hell's Kitchen the main course in Fox TV's reality lineup.
Why aren't you wiping the plates? Chips down. What's he doing, Mark, that jerk?
In order to become a great chef, you have to be a dick.
What in the is going on in here?
It's definitely something that has kind of become ingrained in the restaurant industry.
Chefs know how to verbally disembowel people.
You're trying to cook and you're getting yelled at.
It's on the same table, Elsie.
I know what I can and cannot do. Yeah, that really sucked.
Raw!
With a format that's barely changed in over 2 decades, the show has been franchised in more than 20 countries and helped Ramsay build an estimated $200 million fortune.
There's money to be made in being an asshole, and he's probably the best asshole out there.
Shut your fat mouth! Throw me in the kitchen!
He's created a monster, and once you create a monster like that, you can't, go back.
My reputation's on the line, and I didn't come to America to look second best.
All that matters is getting to the finish line.
But to the hopefuls taking part, what are the costs of suffering through Ramsay's no-compromise approach?
I know this is about the dark side of reality shows, but it's just the dark side of reality, period.
Is actually taking a thing that exists in reality and normalizing it.
Get out, you donkey! I'm busting my balls out there! Get off my face! Just shut the up for a minute and relax. Help me out here!
It's like the Jerry Springer cooking shows. He's playing the devil in the kitchen.
I get it, you have a short man's complex. You can barely reach over this table, right? Is this why you have the tattoos and your cool little scars and your...
In 2022, TV audiences were mesmerized by the FX network's The Bear.
You are bullshit. You are talentless. Hands.
A panic-inducing tale of a young chef licking his wounds after being tortured by a tyrannical perfectionist.
There's a lot of people that I know in the restaurant business that will not watch the show The Bear because of that. Because the whole yes chef culture is too real.
The Bear is based on real-world kitchens and one notorious chef in particular.
I read this book, Marco Pierre White's book, and there's this photo of him on the front of the book, and he's got all this long hair, and so I was like, I really want to grow my hair out and kind of have a little nod to Marco Pierre White. You get your act together, boys, for f***'s sake. Come on, you get out of the...
In 1989, British prodigy Marco Pierre White became one of the first to allow cameras uncensored access to his kitchen, cementing his reputation as the first bad boy TV chef.
This gorgeous babe with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. Marco Pierre White was the youngest chef to ever get 3 Michelin stars.
As well as his incredible talent, the show also reveals Pierre White's blunt force personality.
Marco Pierre White, he is very much kind of the godfather of the dickhead chef.
At the end of the day, we've got to get results, and I don't care how we get them. I don't care how many boys we've got to go through to get them.
Marco was an asshole through and through. He made no bones about it. That was his brand. Before we had brands, that was his.
A difficult guy to work with, though.
Impossible, I would say. I mean, obviously you've got to be a very special person to work alongside someone like that. Someone who's very eager to learn.
Apprenticing under Marco is an ambitious young line cook named Gordon Ramsay.
I mean, we're finished. Oh, I didn't realise they've gone through twice. Yes. All right.
A shadow of the chef he will become, Ramsay learns 2 things from Marco: how to cook at the highest level and how to thrive in an abusive kitchen.
He pushed you to the extreme.
How did he do that?
Because, he drummed it in. If you're going to do it to your best. And if you don't want to do it to your best, get the out of here. You're getting structured. You're getting hungry. You're getting knowledge. And all of a sudden, you're becoming a beast because of the monster he created and the monster you're working for.
By 1998, Ramsey's out from under Marco's wing and on the way to conquering London's fine dining scene. He opens his first restaurant to rave reviews.
This was his first opportunity to strike out on his own. Marco Pierre White is not his daddy anymore.
In that same year, Ramsey gets his own series, Boiling Point.
Boiling Point was viewers' first real taste of like Gordon Ramsay at his best. And when I say best, I mean like being a flaming asshole.
Why aren't you wiping the plates?
Chips out.
What's he doing, Mark, that jerk? Is he talking there, Michael?
You get the feeling when you watch Boiling Point that this is just kind of like, he's just abusing people for fun.
Did you see the Times? It's not a very nice piece. It just mentions bully boy tactics and, psychological barriers about bad bosses and really arsehole.
Audiences and the press are outraged by Ramsey's behavior, but reality TV producers see an opportunity. In 2004, ITV spins Boiling Point into the very first Hell's Kitchen UK, where Ramsey uses his so-called bully boy tactics to train British celebs in a real kitchen environment with seriously volatile results.
Does it make you feel better shouting in front of the police?
I'm not shouting in front of anybody.
Is that you have to show off?
How bloody
Don't be stupid. Don't be so stupid.
I'm not showing off.
Don't be so stupid.
I am tired.
It takes just one season of the UK show for Fox TV to see the potential in unleashing Ramsey on America.
Reality show producers were like, this is like lightning in a bottle.
Let's work as a team!
We don't got to tell this guy anything. He just tears the shit out of everyone that crosses his path. People love him regardless. It's ratings gold.
In 2005, production begins on the US version. It's billed as a way for aspiring Ramsey wannabes to showcase their talents. The Last Chef Standing will win $250,000. Eager contestants from across the country answer the casting call.
I was number 2 chef at White Lotus on Cahuenga in Hollywood. They're in Los Angeles, and they were doing auditions on Vine Street. So it was like, 5-minute walk. I just had to walk down an alley and across the street. There must have been 1,000 people out here. I think it was like 5 layers I went through until I finally hit their producers upstairs. Because they found out that one of my things in life was to work for Gordon Ramsay. I'm Michael Ray, and I was a contestant on season 1 of Hell's Kitchen.
For Michael, the show presents the opportunity of a lifetime. But producers also want to shake things up, casting cooking enthusiasts with no professional expertise.
I didn't consider myself a chef at all. I was a home cook.
Ow! I need a Band-Aid over here. Are you okay?
Yep. I'm Elsie Ramos, and I was a contestant on season 1 of Hell's Kitchen. My friend approached me and said, hey, listen, I think you have a really good story here. She was like, you're practically running a bistro in your house. Why don't you come and audition for this new show? And I said, you're crazy. I was like, I have no culinary experience.
To take someone with absolutely no kitchen experience and put them in a situation like Hell's Kitchen would be like taking an innocent baby and putting them through Navy SEAL training. It's just impossible.
It's an obvious ploy to create drama, but even the producers know that to survive Gordon Ramsay, the amateurs are going to need a little help.
When I arrived in LA, they actually drove me to a restaurant and they put me in the kitchen and they said, look, just watch, observe, so that you have some idea of what a kitchen and how it looks like. Being in a hot kitchen, it's 200 degrees, orders are being yelled at, people are screaming, dishes are being slammed. I was there 2 nights and I wanted to shoot myself.
With the cast in place, Hell's Kitchen is ready to shoot. Each episode will feature challenges to test the contestants' cooking chops, building to a finale where Ramsay selects one participant as the winner.
Why do you deserve, young lady, to stay in Hell's Kitchen?
Gordon Ramsay, one of the finest chefs in the world, came to America on a mission, guaranteeing he would mold one of these 12 people into a master chef.
The one of you who excels the most can win your dream restaurant.
It's a complete culture shock. It was so scary at first, and bring you out there, all of a sudden, it's just like you're in the middle of a TV set.
There's no time to settle in, as they're given an immediate chance to impress the Michelin-starred master chef.
Sous chefs come in, and they're like, you're going to cook your signature dish for him right now.
The kitchen's right behind you.
I was like, what? My feet are killing me. I'm in heels.
For their first task, pro chef and enthusiast alike must each present Ramsay with a dish of their own creation.
That was messed up. You know, this person's making scallops, and the other one has like little lamb chops, and I'm like,
it was crazy. And the dish that I selected,
Whose is this? Michael.
it was one of his dishes.
Let me tell you something.
Yes, sir.
You've got a palate like a cow's backside.
Yes.
That is disgusting.
Only thing you should ever utter if you want to win Hell's Kitchen is, yes, chef.
my signature dish, because I made it 1,000 times for my boys, was turkey tacos. We were all lined up. I just got like really, really faint. There was just this overwhelming, like, oh my God, I made turkey tacos. Here comes Gordon Ramsay.
Whose are these?
Big guy. Very intimidating as hell. I was like, man, he looks really mean and he's really scary.
Who are these for?
My children.
Your children. They're still alive?
She served like paste pecani sauce on her tacos on the first night, you know, with like pre-shredded cheese and stuff. But it was good and Gordon liked it.
It's not bad.
Okay.
Not bad.
Which is not great, but it's not bad.
All right, everybody, follow me. We're going to take you over to the dorms right now.
Having survived their introduction to Ramsay, the contestants are shown their Big Brother-style living quarters.
So they take us to the dorm. But I was like, wait a second, but this is the restaurant. The dorms are like right there. There was like 2 beds in each room. And like, this is where you're going to be staying.
How they had us like housed up, you know, you're living with somebody you don't know, you just met, you're going to have to spend the next 30 days in a competition with them. They're creating environments where what they want to happen is going to happen, I think. There was nothing that was going to happen there that they didn't know about.
Yeah, I left my...
The 12 contestants are now trapped in a pressure cooker, and they seal the lid.
Their cell phones were taken away. So it's not like I could call my husband and just like, oh my God, you won't believe this. You can't believe this. Like where I'm staying.
When you're in a reality show, it's like being part of a cult for 30 days. Like, your brain works different. You have zero connection to the outside world. The only connection they allow you is what you're doing.
Pro chef Michael Ray is one of the more experienced contestants, and this should give him an advantage. But behind the scenes, he's carrying a secret that could derail him at any moment.
So when I was 18, I had scoliosis. And so I had a procedure done, like where they go in and they fused like my whole T-spine. You know, that's traumatic. And I think like within the first week and a half of being outside of surgery, I overdosed on morphine. I'd go to the doctor and they're just like, oh, you know, here's pain medication. Oxycontins at the time were new, like they were a big deal, and like I had great insurance and I had a really good reason to get pain medication, and I completely took advantage of that. Like I got really addicted.
To cope with competing on a high-stakes TV show, Michael leans more and more on his supply of pain pills.
Popping Ritalin, taking painkillers throughout the day. The day's over, pop some Ambien. I was consuming medication like that every day. Are they gonna kick me off the show? Like, there's a lot of money on the line. Like, I was scared shitless. I was like, God damn, I'm gonna run out of meds.
Are you ready? Hell's Kitchen, Season 1, Week 1. And Gordon Ramsay is turning up the heat by dividing contestants into red and blue teams with vastly different levels of experience.
Once I started to hear, yeah, I'm an executive chef, and the other one is managing a restaurant. Oh yeah, and I've worked in a restaurant all my life. You know, right away, I was like, either I was set up or, or I'm in big trouble.
Elsie, what the is that?
It was just like, oh my God. Just hold on, hold on.
Come on, out.
I'm down.
The difference between LZ the amateur and the rest soon becomes painfully obvious.
Do we know I'm going to lose already, but let's just put her in there anyway for fun and see how much she up?
The casting's weird. Like, some people, they did not belong there, and I think they put them there just to get them out early. I would not want to be on that show with zero culinary background.
They weren't at the level that I felt they should be on to be on Hell's Kitchen. If you can't answer a question I'm asking you, how do you expect to stand up to Gordon Ramsay?
The contestants shift gears as they prepare for that evening's service, with the studio operating as a fully working restaurant.
It was always a meat, a fish, and a poultry or something like that. And then we were all assigned a different station. You just had to kind of wing it.
But this is reality TV, not the real world.
Dinner service on Hell's Kitchen does not operate like any kind of regular service. No restaurant is prepping for that day's service a couple hours into it.
Oh, okay.
Don't tighten it's too tight because it'll pinch right through.
And then he's like,
JP,
open the doors to Hell's Kitchen.
open Hell's Kitchen, please.
They'll bring 100 people in there at one time and sit them down at once. That's not how a real restaurant works.
It's a reality TV version of a kitchen, meaning it's not like reality at all.
Can I have a rag?
Can you have a rag? Can you?
Yes, chef.
Yeah, and stop asking me for things.
As the guests are seated, Ramsay kicks into boss mode, displaying the behavior that helped him earn 3 Michelin stars.
It was complete mayhem.
Yourself. Get in the bin.
I'm confused. I don't know what I'm doing.
Thank you for coming back. You
Yes,
never.
sir.
Hello, dessert, your section again. Do you
Yes,
understand?
sir. Yes,
you stand
sir.
there like a man and you face it.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm
Yes.
standing here in front of customers taking shit.
Because they were busting out these orders and there's like 5 and 6 and 7 and 10 coming in at the same time.
Yeah, you're right, Michael. Right now, I don't need a big drama queen in my hands. You know that? Yeah, of course it's hot. That's what I do. You know that? Just look at that board there, Michael.
Yes, chef.
Yeah.
I feel like it's his way of sort of inspiring and creating, great chefs through the pressure cooker method, if you will, like a pirate ship. Like, he's in charge. It's not a democracy.
They're on this show for $250,000 to lift their cribs, and so I can't then turn around and say, oh shit, the camera's watching. Oh, can you hear me? I'm going to give it to them. I'm going to absolutely let rip, and maybe that's just the way I am. That's the way I'm taught.
So upset. That's nicely cooked. That's nicely cooked. And what are they for? They're black.
I just, no, you muppet. Get your shit together or off.
How can I serve that and that on the same table too?
Sorry, chef.
I'm so embarrassed. What's the matter with you, madam? Half the dining room have got their entrees. You're half are standing staring.
Every mistake is ridiculed, and the humiliation is captured in excruciating detail.
This may not be important for you, madam. Hey, but madam, this is serious and you're shit.
Nobody's tuning in to watch Hell's Kitchen to see a bunch of cooks performing well.
Do it again, okay? Carol Ann, get on the stove and help. Did you hear my question? Answer it.
It was just so outrageous. It was
You donkey.
a lot of cursing, a lot of insults.
The chicken is pinker than your lipstick.
Yes, chef.
I said, this can't possibly be normal.
Oh my God.
It's Elsie's first experience of a professional kitchen run by a ruthless head chef, and it's all being televised.
This poor doesn't have a chance. It's just like throwing babies into a lion's mouth.
Everybody was scared. Let's just put it that way. Everybody was afraid.
Come on! It should be gone by now.
Chefs know how to verbally disembowel people.
Start the table again.
I did not expect to see that fiery bully.
What is that? Yes, raw.
Any of these guys that came on the show that never really worked in a kitchen before, they all took it the same way. They took it personal.
You don't care, you do you?
No, at this point, no, I don't.
You don't care?
No.
You're useless, you know that?
I am. Goodbye. Dewey.
Gordon, he told me that you never tell your employees that they're doing a good job. The instant you tell them that is when they stop trying.
When you're in karate class, is your karate sensei a bully or is he your teacher? It's the same thing.
Come here, you. Come here.
If you don't like me, I don't know what to tell you.
Move your ass! Give me a jacket. You're leaving Hell's Kitchen.
Those who don't quit on the spot face elimination at the end of every episode. Elsie, the home cook, cast because of her lack of experience, somehow survives 7 eliminations and is one of the last 4 standing.
The person winning the challenge today is Elsie.
So as far as like any of the chefs that weren't chefs, Elsie was really good.
That's delicious.
Thank you, Chef.
A real hearty and warm, substantial soup.
That night, he says, Elsie, be ready with your knives. We're going to do something really, really special. You're going to be cooking on live TV. I thought, wow, this could be my really big break. It's like your 5 minutes of fame. Like, it was pretty awesome.
I won yesterday's challenge.
With you, Elsie! And then I get to the kitchen and it's total silence.
You're going to carry her tonight?
Nope.
I think some of the contestants used that towards the end to sort of pressure her out.
And why are you doing Elsie's penne, Michael?
Because I don't know how to do it.
I'm taking the penne. I'm going to put it at my station so you don't have to worry about it.
No, I don't want you to put it in your station. Just show me one time how to do it. I don't want to just...
Like I said, it has everything I put here is all you
I've
needed.
never done it.
That dinner service was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I was completely
Oh,
lost.
come on, Els. Give me some feedback.
I was, upset.
It's 6 starters, 2 bits, 1 velouté.
Okay.
I was scared.
It's on the same table, Elsie.
Okay, sir, I'm going to plate it right
I
now.
called it out. You said yes.
I'm a mess. What can I tell you?
Hello. I called out the order to go to the station. Shut up.
I know what I can and cannot do.
Hurry up.
This is one thing I can't do.
I was like, I thought we were friends. No.
I feel like a total outsider. And no one said a word to me the whole night.
And so ultimately, I was eliminated.
It just pushed me to the side. I don't want to talk anymore.
It was crazy, it was sad, but then that's when I started to really understand what I had just done. To think that I made it that far, I was like, you go, girl.
Thank you. It's been great.
Hey. Keep smiling.
Well.
Ramsay and his producers have squeezed all the drama they can out of Elsie's time on the show. It ultimately comes down to 2 professional chefs, including Michael Ray. But his dependency on painkillers is creating a personal crisis.
I had a lot of things going on with trying to stay soberish with my medication. I was getting a month's worth of medication every week. I brought in an extra 500 pills. I had the pills that I gave to production, and I still ran out halfway through the show. They saved my ass. They actually went to my doctor, picked up my script for me, and I don't think the medication gave me any sort of advantage over anybody else, because to be honest with you, waking up with withdrawals and just it was more of a crutch because I had to hide this little thing,
You guys cook like old people. Dining table 12, 2 short rib, 1 lobster, 1 steak.
Michael is barely keeping his addiction at bay as he battles his way to the final showdown.
Don't be, not trying to make a big impression in the beginning, and then I think I really turned on the heat. You really have to be like a professional athlete or something and just seize that moment.
He's 1 step away from winning $250,000 to put towards his own restaurant that comes with the endorsement of his idol.
There was 2 doors, 1 open, 1's locked. Anybody's familiar with TV, they know how this. All right, guys, 1, 2, 3. My door opened. Gordon said, "Hey, Chef Mike, I'd like for you to come out to England and come work for me." My dreams had come true. Where I was at my career and what I was wanting to do, this reality show, it put me right there. But that's when I got scared. I lived through that show by, having to be dependent on drugs. You got to be that guy you were when you won the TV show. I was not that guy.
Michael Ray, an experienced sous chef, is the first ever winner of Hell's Kitchen's $250,000 prize. But Gordon Ramsay surprises Michael by offering him a job at one of his acclaimed London restaurants in addition to the cash.
I personally would like to invite you to come back with me to London to be part of one of the most famous restaurants in the world and work alongside me to become a top world-class chef.
Am I going to go out there with a giant addiction? It's just that pressure of that choice finally hit me. I just wasn't in control of my life enough. I had to say no. It was such a hard thing to say. It's such a turning point in my life. I think that I pissed him off.
And I'm out of here.
I've never talked to him to this day.
Michael walks away from his dream job. For Gordon Ramsay, Hell's Kitchen Season 1 is a wild hit, averaging 7 million viewers an episode. It makes him a global superstar. And as the show's popularity grows, there's no shortage of contestants willing to suffer Ramsay's insults for the chance to change their lives forever.
Unbelievable. Bloody hell. Here I go again.
A lot of people who are younger come up the ranks and they go to culinary school and they think, I'm going to be the next Gordon Ramsay. And then people think that being on Hell's Kitchen is going to be my ticket to stardom.
A 1 in 16 chance of winning it, doing the one thing that you were absolutely best at, that was a no-brainer. It was going to be this amazing opportunity for me to showcase my talent. My name is Tech, and I was a contestant on Season 6 of Hell's Kitchen. I'm looking at these people floundering, and I said, how hard can it be?
When I went to audition for Hell's Kitchen, I was working at a 5-diamond hotel restaurant in Dallas. We were just listening to the radio one day in the kitchen, and they said Hell's Kitchen's coming to Dallas, and I was like, told my boy, like, we gotta go do this. My name's Van Hurd. I was on Season 6 and Season 17 of Hell's Kitchen. I grew up around wrestling. My mom was Luna Vachon. She was a professional wrestler, WWE, ECW, WCW.
Van Hurd sees Hell's Kitchen as his way to achieve what his mom did in wrestling and more.
The fortune and the glory, you know, the money and the fame. That's what Hell's Kitchen is all about for me. I didn't have any reservations. I wasn't scared. Like, I don't get scared easily. I'd already been to prison for a burglary, grand theft, and fleeing and eluding. I'm not worried about going to LA and being on a reality show.
Van, come here. Straight away. 2 threes are what?
2 threes?
2 times 3.
2 threes.
2 threes are what?
I can count, yes. Yeah, it's 6.
So you give me
I gave you an extra. I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
Dumbo.
Gordon continues to berate his protégés just like he did in his Boiling Point days. His signature style is now all too familiar.
Hell's Kitchen is like the real world of restaurant kitchens on steroids. The volume is turned up for the entertainment value, but you can't keep doing the same routine over and over and over again.
Contestants allege that to heat up the drama in the kitchen, producers would sabotage them during challenges.
It's like whack-a-mole of problems, but you don't realize that's by design.
The mind, just the situations they put you in to see how you're going to react. I feel like they were playing with our ovens, they were playing with our pilot lights, they were making shit happen just for TV. The blindfolded taste test, I feel like they were with me on that. I feel like they dipped it in some fish oil or something, because I had tasted fish and it was like a vegetable. You'd be doing prep all day long and then come back and all your prep's gone. That's not fair.
The machinations of reality show producers to get their desired effect are well known to everyone. Hell's Kitchen is such a construct. You know, it's a clown car stuffed with clowns, and Gordon Ramsay is the ringmaster.
Competitors also have to be willing to put up with televised humiliation for a chance to win $250,000.
We were cleated up. I'm in a hazmat suit. They literally dumped the dumpsters out, and when we had to clean it up and put it back in.
But the stunt leads Van Hurd to discover just how much of the show seems to be preordained.
and I found a bunch of paperwork and stuff. There's a whole storyboard before you even get there. Like there was an upcoming live fire challenge. I didn't want anybody to see me reading it. I should have kept it.
I thought that Hell's Kitchen was about cooking. 90% game show and 10% cooking.
You, off with you.
It told me it's faker than wrestling. It's not real, it's TV. Don't believe anything you see on TV.
The claims of shenanigans behind the scenes on Hell's Kitchen doesn't surprise me in the least. Because as we have established so far, Hell's Kitchen is a joke, right? It's a painful joke, but it's a joke nonetheless.
When you're communicating in the kitchen, we're going to learn how to do it better. Hell's Kitchen has become a parody of its premise to mold contestants into master chefs. However, not everyone is in on the joke.
Unbelievable. One simple request, who and why, and you make a big song and dance about it.
I ain't no bitch, chef. I don't give a I ain't no bitch.
Joseph Tinnelly, a young line cook from Chicago, has had enough and calls BS on Gordon Ramsay.
I ask the questions, you give answers.
That shit, dog. I ain't here for that. You want a jacket? You want to talk some shit? Let's go step outside. You want to talk about fighting?
Oh, wow.
You want to get rough?
Do you think I'm scared? Huh? Look at you.
Yeah,
You just blow
cameras.
Yeah, the cameras.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We can step
I'm
outside.
standing here.
That shit, dog.
Through 66 episodes of verbal abuse and producer trickery,
let's go step outside.
No one has lost it on Gordon Ramsay until now.
I asked you one simple question and you couldn't answer me. And then you want to get all tough and up close and personal.
You.
There you go.
I wanted somebody to swing. Like Gordon wasn't scared.
Passive aggression, then just aggression. It just happened quickly.
You ain't no but a bitch.
You got no respect.
No respect.
Now get out.
You bitch. All y'all. You heard it?
Watch the step. What an idiot.
He was tired of the pressure. I think he let the pressure get to him. He was a tough guy anyway, and somebody's eventually got to take a swing at Gordon.
It's a rare moment of authenticity in what has otherwise become a game show, with Gordon Ramsay reveling in the lead role of fiery host.
I just feel like he turns it on. I've been around wrestlers my whole life, and I know when somebody's like being real and somebody's playing a character.
Fine, that risotto. It's delicious. You've got it right now. Continue with it, yes? Hallelujah.
Because if you watch any of his other shows, he's sweet as pie.
For me, working on MasterChef Junior is a dream. I'm like their perfect soccer coach.
He accents it with these other shows where it's like, oh no, he's really just a reasonable guy. Like, oh look, look how caring he actually is.
It is necessary for him to make it bigger and make it broader in order to keep the audience entertained. It is a character.
He's playing the devil in the kitchen. He's making too much money to be done with it.
His performance has made Ramsay one of the richest chefs in the world, and it's a role he just can't step away from.
I swear to God, I'd rather you just all off out of it.
Chef, we can all pick it up.
You can pick it up.
Yes, chef.
You need to untuck your head out your ass.
By 2016, there have been 15 seasons of Hell's Kitchen.
Shit!
Each new competitor has had fair warning that it's little more than TV entertainment. And yet, the prize money and the draw of working for Ramsay still attracts ambitious hopefuls, believing it could be their ticket to success.
I didn't go on Hell's Kitchen to be a celebrity. I went on Hell's Kitchen to catapult my career to get a higher paying job as an executive chef. My name is Ariel Malone, and I was a contestant on season 15 of Hell's Kitchen.
Congratulations.
Thank
amazing,
you.
amazing, amazing. Absolutely incredible.
With their eyes fixed clearly on the prize,
oh my God.
Ariel, who weeks ago was a mere line cook, outlasts her rivals and makes it to the final two.
Good luck.
Thanks, chef. You too.
yeah, we have to like both put our hands on the handle at the same time, and then he's like on the count of 3.
Turn your handles.
I didn't think my handle was gonna turn.
1, 2, 3.
And then like I could see out of the corner of my eye, I could see like Kristen kind of like struggling to like push her handle down, and I was like, oh my God, and just like opened the door and like it was just in total shock that I had won.
Ariel's dream is now reality. She's about to become a full-time Ramsey protege, a role that comes with a $250,000 salary. At least, that's what she thinks.
My understanding was that I would be the executive chef of BLT Steak in Las Vegas. But when I got there, it was mostly they wanted me to kind of like be on the floor. They didn't want me in the kitchen. They wanted me just to like take pictures and kiss babies and that kind of thing. And I'm like, no, I'm a chef. And they're like, no, you're paid talent. Go take a picture. And then when it was like, I did all this work. I prepped the kitchen. I'm ready to go for service. They'd be like, just kidding. He's going to run service.
That whole position that they're offering and that they're dangling, it's almost like the actual position itself was just to promote whatever establishment was opening that wanted their name repeated over and over and over again.
Never again, I swear to God. Eddie, shut up!
Over Hell's Kitchen's first 22 seasons, only one winner, Season 10's Christina Wilson, has ever managed to stay with Ramsey long term.
I think that there is a danger there that a show like Hell's Kitchen can misrepresent what the restaurant world is really like and draw people into it with false promises. They might unlock some career opportunities, but again, it's really, to me, feels like a false promise, and it feels like people think that this is going to be like the way your ticket in, and in reality, it's like, it's not.
She is an out-of-the-box thinker who will make a great head chef at BLT Steak.
I was extremely disappointed in the reality that I was not going to be the executive chef.
They already have chef de cuisine, and they don't want you coming into their restaurant just because you were on some reality show, So just take the money and run.
The contestants are disposable.
Take. Give me a jacket and leave Hell's Kitchen.
And that $250,000 per season that they're giving out away, he's making per episode. So, does he care about any of the people that are on it? I don't know.
I know that there are contestants from this reality show and other reality shows that have like killed themselves. So it's like at some point, is somebody going to care about the human beings that you're making money off of?
The thing about Hell's Kitchen that sucks is actually taking a thing that exists in reality and normalizing it for millions and millions and millions of people.
The yelling and verbal abuse that has become a Hell's Kitchen trademark is all too common in real-world kitchens. Only there, it has real-world consequences.
We are dealing with an epidemic of mental illness in our industry.
And it's something that people are afraid to talk about or confront or take care of themselves.
A lot of people don't understand how to deal with people that have anxiety, depression, because they don't know what to say.
I feel like with chefs and abuse that it's always, I think it's hereditary, and you see that as being the template for how you are supposed to act in order to have excellence. Oftentimes these chefs embrace that.
How can I serve that and that on the same table, Ted?
Sorry, chef.
This is serious and you're shit.
The industry itself is really one of the most punishing and thankless jobs one can have.
High rates of addiction and suicide are common among workers in the restaurant industry, and Hell's Kitchen contestants aren't beyond this kind of trauma.
After winning Hell's Kitchen, go through having the money, I kind of just imploded. So I gave up being a chef. I ended up becoming homeless. I lived under the Burbank underpass for like 4 months. I just stole the fentanyl patches that I was on, and then I took off up into the high desert. Ended up trying to kill myself with a knife.
In the years since winning Hell's Kitchen's first season, Michael Ray's life has been spiraling towards rock bottom.
I ended up becoming homeless, and then I took off up into the high desert. I ended up trying to kill myself with a knife. I thought there was ghosts in my blood. A car found me. They got me to the hospital. I was able to get off of hardcore opiate abuse. I ended up working at the rehab place that helped me, and that's where I actually met my wife.
Cooks and chefs like Michael share their stories of mental health and addiction to expose the toxic nature of many kitchens. Recently, there's hope that the industry is changing for the better.
Eric Ripera, one of the most famous chefs in the world, made a big announcement several years ago that they no longer yell in their kitchen. It doesn't make for a conducive environment.
Well, nowadays, there's no more screaming and yelling, especially with all the anxiety and stuff these kids have these days. It's got to be cool. You got to be chill. Like, you can be stern, you can be disciplined, but like screaming and yelling and throwing stuff, like that's an HR nightmare.
I think that there's been a reckoning in the entire industry that you don't necessarily have to shit all over somebody just to get them to respond.
The more that we can celebrate chefs that treat their staff with respect, I think the better off the industry will be. But unfortunately, that doesn't make good television.
How much did you think about your TV persona? Or
I didn't.
Not at all?
I didn't give a shit.
So even when you were saying outrageous stuff or dropping in the odd swear word, that wasn't... you weren't thinking, how can I have the most impact?
Take it professionally, not personally. Really important. I can't stress how important that is. Getting told off is good, really healthy, but take it professionally. Don't take it personally.
Today, Hell's Kitchen is down in the ratings, but the contestants keep signing up, still believing in the promise that Gordon Ramsay and the show can change their lives, despite the experiences of those who came before.
I feel like coming off of the show, I really needed to prove that I wasn't as bad of a cook as I had appeared, and it was important to me that I continue rising. So I stuck to it, and I ended up, working my way up to an exec job and running a couple of really nice restaurants.
Come on, Elsie!
I've never been yelled at like that. Ever. After the show, a publisher reached out to me and said, hey, listen, I watched the show, loved you in it. We want to do a cookbook. So, I was on top for a little bit, and it felt really, really good. And then when it just stops.
It was traumatic. It took me a long time to get over that. Second guessing yourself, because food knows when you're scared, and it's not going to work out for you.
So I still got a few more years. I'm going to be like you one day.
Keep it cool and let your food do the talking.
Yes, chef. Thanks, chef.
I'm an executive chef, running a restaurant. I don't scream and yell at people. I don't kick garbage, throw spoons. I'm cool. Cool.
I think if I didn't win, I probably would be like a little bit more cynical, but I won. It changed my life for the better because of like the validation that I didn't know that like I needed. I have 3 beautiful children and like still have a career in the culinary field. How people define success kind of like depends on them.
I work on a long-range sport fishing boat, but it's all about cooking though. Cooking saved my life. Wanting to be a chef has saved my life. Being a chef defines me, not being on a stupid reality show. I'm really happy with where I'm at. I'm happy that I can cook better than most people, and that I still enjoy doing it. I found that passion in it, and I still hold on to that.